Picture this: the excitement of launching groundbreaking probes to Mars, only to have it dashed by stormy skies and bureaucratic hurdles. That's the dramatic setback facing Blue Origin right now, and it's got everyone in the space community on edge. But here's where it gets controversial. Could this delay actually highlight deeper tensions between private space ambitions and government oversight? Let's dive into the details and explore why this matters for the future of exploration. From the launch site at Cape Canaveral, Florida, Blue Origin made the tough decision to postpone the debut flight of their massive New Glenn rocket, which was set to carry NASA's twin Mars probes. The scrub happened on Sunday, November 9th, all because of unfavorable weather at the Florida launch pad, just one day before stricter federal rules kick in for commercial space flights. As Blue Origin spokesperson Tabitha Lipkin explained live during the webcast, today's NG-2 launch is scrubbed due to weather, specifically the cumulus cloud rule. She added that the team is now evaluating upcoming windows based on weather predictions, noting, "We came down to the wire, and then, there you have it." Now, the plot thickens. Blue Origin will need to collaborate with the Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, to obtain a special waiver if they want to attempt another launch soon. Their backup days for the New Glenn's ESCAPADE mission are scheduled for November 10th and 11th in the afternoon. A Monday launch would be at 2:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or 1940 GMT. But here's the catch. On Friday, the FAA issued an open-ended pause on all daytime commercial launches to lighten the burden on air traffic controllers, who are working without pay amid the government shutdown. Blue Origin's Vice President for New Glenn Mission Management, Laura McGinnis, addressed this during a Saturday briefing. She emphasized their close coordination with partners at the FAA and NASA to uphold airspace safety guidelines while meeting mission goals. "We are working really closely with both our partners at the FAA and with the NASA team to ensure that we're, of course, honoring and respecting the airspace expectations there and the safety requirements, while at the same time meeting the objectives that NASA and the Blue Origin have for this mission," she said. McGinnis confirmed that backup dates on Monday and Tuesday, November 10th and 11th, are secured through Space Launch Delta 45, the Space Force unit managing launches from Florida's Eastern Range at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. However, they still require FAA approval for any daytime liftoffs during the shutdown, as the restrictions begin on November 10th. And this is the part most people miss: the government shutdown, which stems from political disagreements over funding, has real-world impacts beyond daily operations. It can stall innovations like this Mars mission, raising questions about whether private space companies should navigate such red tape independently. For context, this isn't just any mission. NASA hasn't sent probes to the Red Planet since 2019, and ESCAPADE, short for Escape and Plasma Acceleration and Dynamics Explorers, represents a fresh look at how Mars lost its atmosphere. The twin orbiters, crafted by Rocket Lab, will investigate the effects of solar wind and space weather on the planet, explaining why today's Mars is a barren, dry world instead of the potentially life-supporting one it might have been billions of years ago. To put it simply for beginners, think of the solar wind as a relentless cosmic gust that erodes a planet's protective blanket of air over time, much like how wind shapes desert landscapes on Earth. This affordable project cost less than $80 million to develop, and it's spearheaded by researchers at UC Berkeley for NASA. Plus, the New Glenn's second stage is hosting a communications experiment for Viasat, part of NASA's broader communication services project, which could improve data transmission for future deep space endeavors. This upcoming flight, dubbed NG-2, will be the second test of a New Glenn rocket, the first one soared in January this year. Blue Origin is aiming to successfully recover the rocket's first stage, landing it on a barge in the Atlantic Ocean for reuse, building on lessons from the inaugural flight's partial success. That earlier attempt, saw the booster not quite hitting its mark during descent, but the overall mission proceeded smoothly. Looking ahead, Blue Origin envisions New Glenn as a versatile powerhouse for various tasks, from deploying commercial satellites and handling heavy payloads to supporting crewed and uncrewed lunar missions with their Blue Moon landers. It's a vision that could revolutionize space access, but is it fair for a government shutdown to throw a wrench in these ambitions? Some argue it prioritizes bureaucratic stability over innovation, while others see it as a necessary safeguard. What do you think? Should private enterprises like Blue Origin receive exemptions to push forward with historic missions? Or does the shutdown's impact underscore the need for better funding solutions? Share your opinions in the comments below. Let's discuss. Tariq Malik is the acclaimed editor-in-chief of Space.com, where he has been a key part of the team since 2001. He specializes in human spaceflight, celestial observations, and entertainment news, and he stepped into his current role in 2019. Prior to Space.com, Tariq served as a staff reporter for the Los Angeles Times, covering education and local stories in areas like La Habra, Fullerton, and Huntington Beach. His dedication to space journalism has earned him the 2022 Harry Calcum Award for Outstanding Reporting from the National Space Club Florida Committee, as well as the 2025 Space Pioneer Award from the National Space Society. An Eagle Scout and Space Camp graduate, he holds journalism degrees from USC and NYU. Catch up with Tariq at Space.com, and tune into his co-hosting gig on the This Week in Space podcast via the Twit Network. Follow his latest adventures on Twitter at Tariq Malik.